I'm Shep Messing. We're at Red Bull Arena, and I'm with Tim Ream. And Tim, it's been a boring offseason, huh?
Yeah, just a little bit.
We're going to take a little trip down memory lane, Tim. So, one of the signature moments in your life, Eric Soler, Hans Baca, they take a look at you, they draft you, you get drafted and sign your first pro contract. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I mean, it was once again another crazy offseason. To start my career. When they, stepped up and called my name, it was a dream come true. Just to have your first professional contract and have your foot in the door.
Now you go from the first pro contract to this stadium, this arena that we're walking through right now. Give us your thoughts about that opening night against Santos, Red Bull Arena. That was the first game here for you.
Obviously, it was just a friendly, but it was meaningful, to the fans here, to the supporters that have, waited for the stadium to open up for so long. It was a good feeling, starting that first game in front of, your new hometown crowd and, playing the full 90 minutes. It was, something I'll always remember.
This is a sport, and you're finding it out. It's all about making adjustments. In St. Louis University, great atmosphere, but it must have been wild against Santos with a packed stadium here.
They want to bring fans in, and to play in front of a packed house, sold out crowd, to open up the stadium with all the the extra festivities they had with the fireworks. It was definitely a special feeling.
And that first season, again, you come from unknown, but you have great composure on the ball. You played every minute of every game. Just take us generally through that season.
The speed of play is different, the physicality is different, but I've always prided myself on staying fit and staying in games and playing a lot. And I went into that season hoping to contribute in any way that I could. And once I earned that starting job, I didn't want to let it go. So there was, it was going to take a lot to knock me off of there. Even if I did feel a little injury here and there, I was going to play through it as much as possible and continue to keep that spot.
And that second season, plenty of adversity.
Absolutely. That was rough. I'll be the first one to tell you it was so rough, and it was frustrating. Never really could get into a good groove after the first 6 or 7 games where we were great.
Yeah.
And after that, with traveling and back and forth with the national team, I don't think the team in general had very good chemistry because we weren't able to train together day in and day out. So again, it's one of those things that I like to roll with the punches. If you take the good with the bad and you learn more from the mistakes and the bad games than you do from playing outstanding.
Your attitude's been great, and you're going to start reaping those rewards now, but I think it was very important for you to get into the national team picture. How do you think that impacted where you're going right now, the U.S. national team?
Well, obviously, the first call-up is always special, and like you said, being called up by Bob Bradley after my rookie season was another dream come true. So many dreams have come true the last 2 years, and so where I'm going now, it's just that next step. It's that natural progression that I need to take to solidify a spot with the national team, and hopefully continue to get called in and make an impact on the national team.
Talk a little bit, Tim, just about the supporters groups here, Red Bull Arena. How have they been?
Obviously the GSS, the ESC, even the one that just popped up the last few years, the Viking Army. They're all great. They've been behind us 100%, no matter if we're playing bad, struggling through a rough stretch, or we're at the top of our game. They've been unbelievable. And at every appearance that we do, they're always out there and always giving words of encouragement. And that's something that as players we appreciate. We appreciate that the fans are behind us 100%. No matter what, and we go out there and play for them.
Your thoughts as you head off to Europe?
Well, honestly, I just want to thank everybody in the Red Bull organization. Thank you for all the kind words the last 2 years, and you know, the coaching staff and the players for, you know, I wouldn't be here without the staff and the players around me. You know, they make me look good when maybe I'm not so good, and you know, I think that's part of what being a team is about. And you know, I just want to thank the fans. Obviously, the fans have been so supportive, like I said, and you know, I'm really going to miss this place. You know, it's been a good 2 years, and you know, it's something that I'll always cherish.
Well, Tim, on behalf of, I know, Eric Soler and Hans Baca and the entire Red Bulls organization, teammates, coaches, front office, media, and I think I speak on behalf of everybody in American soccer. We're very proud of you. Congratulations, and go get them.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.